So hello guys, my name is Martin,
I'm Viliam.
and you might be wondering why we are sitting here next to each other and you're seeing two guys instead of only one. We are students from ISBM. We go to the same class, and um, we found out this task a little bit more challenging than the others, and we decided that we can maybe combine the knowledge that we both have because we are both um, really big beginners in this kind of industry. So we try to like combine the stuff that we know and decided that we're going to do this task together. So yeah, in the background you can see our work and like a paper, and through the work I'm just gonna click on the tabs all right here so we can see all the graphs that will be needed to present our ideas. So we chose company Nike, probably know um, from all of you, and we're just gonna go from step by step and see how it goes. We're not gonna do any cuts. So if you'll see us maybe laughing, maybe stuttering a bit, yeah, it's gonna be similar to the online lectures that we have. So let's get to it. So first, we have profitability ratio, so ROE. And as we can see in this graph, it had its peak in 31st of May in 2021. And then when we go back, you see the ratio just going down a bit. Yeah, and based on that, we can see that it maybe had some external problems or some internal problems in management and stuff. That's why this can happen. And I would say that for investors as us, this might be a sign that it'll be not the best time to invest in it now if it'll continue to fall. Because maybe the Nike isn't using the stakeholders' money or shareholders' money very efficiently to make profits. Very similar kind of a situation you can see right here with return of assets, because basically the date is the same when it had its peak, and then you see it's going continuously down, yeah, and it's going lower and lower. So again, there might be some challenges that the company is facing right now, and maybe Nike is not just using its stuff as efficiently as it should to make profits. So yeah, and I'll say the most important part is return of investments, because that's what we do here. We invest to companies, we trade it, yeah, we try to make profit as well, and we are hoping that the company will make profit by itself as well. Um, and here once again, the downfall is not that, I would say, not that huge compared to return of assets, but still the downfall is there. So for us is again a bad sign, because we want company to make money by itself and use its investment wisely and efficiently, so we can make profit with the company as well.
Yeah, so secondly, we looked at liquidity ratios. At first, current ratio, it is basically a comparison of how much money the company has available to spend uh, compared to uh, their uh, compared to their
Liabilities.
liabilities and expenses in the near future. Yeah, and to calculate this ratio, we need to divide uh, the money they have on hand by the expenses that will be in the near future. So when we look at the graph, we can see that Nike's current ratio is for the last year, it has been growing slightly. That's a good sign. That means that the company is kind of stable, and we as investors that now believe that Nike is a reliable company and they're not gonna fall so easily. They can pay for their uh, next expenses, and they're also ready for some unexpected economic downfalls. Second, in the liquidity ratios, we looked at quick ratio. It is basically the same concept as the current ratio, but even more conservative. Uh, it we take into the consideration only money that we have on hand right now. So we don't look at like money that we have in some houses, cars, or stuff like that. It's money strictly in cash or on a bank account, and compare those to the near expenses. So here we can see the values are lower, but the graph is basically the same as the current ratio. It's also growing slightly. So yeah, for Nike, it's a big company, and we can trust them. We don't expect bankruptcy or something like that in the near future.
Yeah. So even though combined with the fact that return of investment or of assets is going down, as Will said, yeah, in different country, in different sorry countries, different companies, you might expect like critical downfall or bankruptcy, but yeah, Nike at least seems on these graphs that it's pretty stable. So yeah, we hope it's gonna be like that, and then it's gonna go up even more.
Yeah, the third group of ratios, we looked at solvency ratios. Here are debt to equity ratio and the, I'm sorry, yeah, the interest coverage ratio. Yeah, so the debt to equity ratio determines how much money the company has in from their own compared to how much money they have from the loans, and this basically determines if the company is able to pay their interest from their own money, or it's a company that relies on the loans. That's not a good sign. Those are not very strong companies and not very reliable companies. So as you can see on the graph, Nike was last half a year they had kind of a lot of loans, but they managed to bounce back, and now the debt to current equity ratio is declining. That's a good sign in this case. So they have more money from their own than the loans. And then when we look at the current interest coverage ratio, it's yeah, it's just basically again the same principle. It determines if the company can pay back the interests from their own money. And in Nike's case, they're really safe. They have one of the best interest coverage ratios in the world.
Yeah, I would say maybe even in like top five. That's what I read on Google. Yeah.
Yeah, so as we can see on the in the text, interest coverage ratio of 13 point half. So this basically means that right now they can pay their interest 13 and a half times. So they're really safe. And I would even suggest them to invest more. They don't need so much money, so much liquidity. They could invest some more money, so the inflation doesn't affect them that much.
So if we continue, we have efficiency ratios here, so the inventory turnover and receivables turnover. Very simply way describe basically inventory turnover describes if it goes up, then the Nike is selling products faster, and if the receivables turnover goes up, that means the people or customers, let's say, are just buying the clothes faster than usually. Um, the graph like it is here, if it will be longer one, it will just continue like this, yeah, for the whole time. And that's because Nike is one of the companies that sells clothing the most, and shoes, for example. And it's really connected with the fashion seasons that we have in the industry. So, for example, in summer, you sell a lot of more stuff for like sport clothes, shoes, and everything. And in winter season, it's slightly going down. Um, and you can see the peak over here in May. Yeah, here the peak is incoming as well, and I would say it will be even higher because of the Summer Olympics coming up. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it shows up. So I continue. For the last two things, we have growth ratio and sales growth. So for the growth ratio, here's the first graph, which I don't like to see, I would say, because this thing is really critical for investors, because it directly impacts us, and the potential financial gain or the losses. of owning company stocks. So if you look at here, we see the big downfall. Yeah, biggest so far is around like 25%, which means it's not really good for investors like us. And therefore, a company can be facing several issues that has to be fixed. Maybe they can change strategy or invest in kind of a research what they need to do in the other way. But as we can see over here, for example, he was a big downfall and it went up. So for someone like us that didn't invest yet, this might be a good time to invest. Yeah, because the stocks are really, really cheap right now. And if it goes up even slightly, then it still means we're gonna take some profit from it. So similar thing goes when sales. Yeah, that basically says yeah the revenue of the company. Yeah, it can be it's still going down, but the revenue is insane. Yeah, billions. So yeah, insane amount of money. And this also like kind of also strength the the reason why you should hold the investments that you have because yeah, you're gonna just hope that the sales will go up and the in the future will grow so you can make some profit from it. And yeah, I would say about that. So, and the final thing, when we have to decide or we should buy, hold, or sell, I would say we both agree that we're gonna like buy and hold.
Yeah, some longer term investment in Nike because they're on the top for so long, so we trust that they're not gonna go down drastically. And I think for a long term investment, Nike could be ideal.
Yeah, if we also saw the graph before, yeah, the thing one here, and when you see that really we don't expect any bankruptcy, and in the past we saw many graphs that if it went down, then it went up. Yeah, it's a very simple way that everybody might understand, but sometimes it works like that. So we're just gonna hope that if we buy now and hold, then the stocks will go up and we can make some profit from it.
So in the second analysis, we chose Chainlink, which is a blockchain company that has gained a significant attention in the cryptocurrency industry. Basically, Chainlink made it possible. Chainlink created a decentralized Oracle network that made possible for information and statements from the real world enter the blockchain safely through the smart contracts.
So it's like what it makes special, you might ask. It's like it's not controlled only by one person. You have a bunch of people working together. Like having a group of nodes that are just combined together and then make sure that the information will be trustworthy and will be safe and it will not be stolen and everything. So yeah, the safety part might be uh, the biggest one in the whole company selection. So technological analysis, yeah, as Vila mentioned before, is working by decentralized Oracle network. Um, it's like how to explain it. You have here example like you have a messengers that helps smart contract to think outside of a blockchain. Um, I heard one example that like when you have a note and you have your friend doing like homework and you want to make sure that he does the homework really. What was the example?
Oh yeah, that you want to reward your friend with a candy for doing the homework. So how do you make sure that he does the homework before you give him the candy? So
All right, yeah, that was it because I forgot the second part to it. Um, yeah, so by the smart contracts, it really um enables the technology to perform tasks, and it's like settling insurance claims, executing supply change agreements, or even it can pretend election outcomes. Yeah, so it really connects the data from all the world and it puts it in the blockchain in a secure and trustless way. Um, Big advantage of the others, it's the decentralized groups of the operators. As we mentioned before, it's not only one person, but it's really, really um a numerous amount of persons working on there. So yeah, that'll be it. And when you have like kind of a hackers or some stuff, it's hard really hard to get through it and to hack it or somehow. Yeah. So for the second part, market positions and partnerships, I'm just gonna go through it. First one is Ethereum. Everybody knows Ethereum. Even guys like us know what Ethereum is. Yeah, second largest blockchain. Then we have, for example, Google Cloud combined with Google BigQuery, which is a big analysis website. Um, for example, then DeFi projects, and as we mentioned before, government initiatives, so we can predict the election, how it's going to be. It really helps this company to expand, and be bigger and bigger in the ecosystem of blockchain and industry and everything. So altogether, yeah, to just expand the company. However, you have to be safe and you have to be careful before you're gonna invest in something. And also these partnerships, if you're gonna go into partnership with someone, you have to be careful how their company is doing, and if it really fits the technology that you want to have. About financial performance, yeah, it's really decentralized network. So it doesn't operate in traditional company way. So that's why we cannot really apply to us this its financial performance, I would say. Yeah.
Then for the sentiment analysis, so we read some articles and some discussions on the internet and found something, and the reactions were mostly positive. We weren't surprised. I don't think there's something to hate about technology like this. It just makes everything safer and more reliable. Maybe some conservative people are not happy that the technology expands, but they don't really understand it. We don't understand it really either, but we tried our best. So at least some things now. Yeah. So the sentiment was 99% positive,
Yeah,
as
I
we
would say so.
expected.
Yeah.
And for the investment recommendation, so we would recommend to hold again because it's a big company. I think it's leading in. Yeah, there's not much
One of the
competition.
leaders, yeah.
Yeah, not much competition in this industry, and yeah, so we would recommend to hold.
With all the factors that are there with
Yeah, that we already
technology.
mentioned, all the technology, new things. And yeah, but the cryptocurrencies are unexpectable. Yeah, we can expect anything. It can go up and down, as we saw multiple times with basically every currency. So in the world of blockchain, nothing is certain. So
Yeah, just make sure that you know what you are going into and then you have enough research. All right, so that was it. Thank you guys, and see you next time.
yeah, thank you. See you.